I grew up in the city. I was a city kid, and I went to Penn State University for my freshman year of college. And yeah, I didn't really have any friends, so I was exploring around, and I saw these people when I was going to class on Thursday night. This brigade of like 40 riders going down the street. We got a couple Happy Thursday riders in the house. It was called the Happy Thursday Bike Ride, and these people just gather every Thursday, like 50 people ride in costumes all around campus. So there's all these like depressed, stressed out college students walking home from the library, and then like 50 people come by in costumes just yelling Happy Thursday, and they just start laughing, and they totally come into the moment, and they break out of their stressful thoughts. And it really inspired me. So I met some friends in this group, and they were actually planning a bike trip across America. And here I was, just a freshman coming into Penn State trying to get acquainted, and they're starting this huge bike trip. They were going to graduate at the end of the year. So I started going to some of their planning meetings, and it was really exciting going to see where they were going to visit on their trip. And they were starting to do some practice bike rides. So I just decided to go with them on a few of these practice rides, maybe 20 miles on my mountain bike, you know, chugging along. And after a while, I was like, you know, this trip sounds really awesome. I kind of want to go with you guys. But my parents would totally kill me if I just decided to leave school and bike across America. But my friends are very awesome and very convincing. So I decided to sneak away and sign the papers to take a year off from college without telling my parents. And I bought a new bike, and we didn't have that much money, so we got big yellow kitty litter buckets, and we strapped Tidy Cat buckets to our bicycles to hold all of our gear. And so we started practicing and training, and then about a month before the trip, I came home to Peachburg, and I was like, Mom and Dad, just hear me out. I haven't really traveled west of Ohio in my whole life. I really want to see the country. So I decided I'm going to bike across America and take off a year from school. And my mom was like, what? Are you kidding me, Kevin? She freaked out. She wouldn't talk to me for a couple days. And but sure enough, she talked to some more relaxed people, and they were like, maybe it'd be a good idea to go out, explore the country. So the theme of our trip was exploring sustainability and what is really going on in America. You know, because you watch TV, you watch CNN, they're like, this is America today, this is what's happening in America. People are dying, people are getting raped, all these horrible things are happening, environmental crises. But like, we wanted to see what was actually happening. So we started from the East Coast, we rode on the C&O Canal, and we went straight across the center of the US. And along the way, we visited eco-villages and urban permaculture places, and it was just so much inspiration seeing all these people like really putting these solutions into action. Because my freshman year at Penn State, we had this class where it's like environmental studies, and you're basically just getting depressed every time you do your homework. You're like, okay, we're gonna be screwed as far as deforestation, screwed on ocean acidification. We're just like screwed on all levels, and we're like analyzing it constantly. It's like, what are we gonna do about this? When are we actually gonna do the solutions? So along this bike trip, we just visited all these places that were actually putting the solutions into action. And we finished our trip 4,000 miles later on the West Coast. And it was just an incredible journey the whole way. It took us 6 months because we spent so much time learning from all these permaculturalists and whatnot. And so along the way, this concept came to me called the Tale of the Two Trees. So all of you are here, we're gonna be in this interactive story together. So please just center yourself for a moment, take a few deep breaths, realize that you are now sitting in a big backyard. So you're just feeling the grass below you, the blue skies above you, and now there's these two big trees in this backyard. The tree on the left is dying. Its bark has turned red, as Brittany is showing. It has holes in the tree. There's holes in it. The roots are crumbling. There's no flowers on it. Birds don't even go close to it anymore because it's just so awful. And so the roots of this tree represent the biggest problems facing humanity today. So can somebody shout out one-word answers what you think is the biggest problem facing humanity today? Just one person, shout it out.
Chemtrails.
Okay, the first one is chemtrails. Let's put it on the board. Yes. Greed. So these are the leaves. All right, so we got chemtrails, greed. What else is problems facing humanity?
Drinking water.
All right, you're gonna have to write super fast, these people. Okay, we got water, education.
Resources.
Excess. Wealth and income disparity. So these are the biggest problems facing humanity, and these are represented on this upper branches of the dying tree. Somebody in the back, yes.
The way people get information.
Okay, the way people get information. Resource exhaustion. Yes. Fear, that's a good one. So if you turned on CNN tonight, what would they say is the biggest problem facing humanity? Drugs and terrorists, exactly. That guy up here counted as both of them. No, just so yes. Lack of self-knowledge. So like people have a lot of different views. What if there was one problem that would like cover all of these? What do you think it would be? Separation, ignorance.
Service to self. Fear.
What about climate change? A lot of the environmentalists are like, if we don't solve climate change, none of this other shit even matters, you know? It all stems from selfishness. Well, that's a good call, because now we're gonna get into these screwed up roots. So the roots of this tree are what is actually causing these horrific problems. So let's write, what did you say again? Selfishness? All right. Separation, all right. The illusion of separation. Yes. All right, let's get fear on there. Did you guys know that fear is an acronym? Stands for false expectations appearing real. And to be really honest, I did a workshop on Tuesday last year and no one showed up because it was Tuesday. So in my mind, my false expectation appearing real was that me and Brittany were just gonna be on stage like hanging out with each other. So thank you all for being here. That was my fear. All right, so what else do you think is causing these things? Oh yeah, and one problem that I think is possibly the biggest problem facing humanity is that when two people get in an elevator that don't know each other, they're just supposed to pretend that the other person doesn't exist. That's normal. I think perhaps that is the biggest problem facing humanity, that we're standing there next to another being that is breathing. It's 50 trillion cells self-organized into a giant thinking organism. And we don't even honor, I love you too, brother. And we don't even honor that they exist. We don't even give them a wink or like a high five or anything. We're just like, oh, let's text for a little bit here. I just checked the time 2 minutes ago. I'm wondering if it's still working.
Recognition.
So maybe recognition, lack of recognition of other beings. Anybody else? What do you think is causing these massive problems that we have in the world?
Scarcity complex.
Scarcity complex, that's a great one. Ideologies, that's a good one too.
We hear ego. Yes.
Somebody put authority, that's a good one too. Disconnection from nature, yes. And let's give a round of applause to the amazing people who put together this dome with this beautiful nature. Thank you to the Fractal Planet workers. All right, so as my friends and I, we called ourselves the Cultural Recyclists. As we were biking across America, we were exploring these issues and trying to figure out what is really causing all this screwed up shit in our world. Why is it happening? We seem like pretty smart people. Can't we figure it out? You know, so we were biking across, meeting people in Wisconsin and all these different states. And after 4,000 miles of biking and meeting new people every day and asking them these questions, we realized that everything that we do is BS. Belief system. So I believe that the root cause of this is we have way too much BS going on. We're stuck in our own BS all the time, but it's our belief system. So our conclusion was that pretty much all of these problems manifesting in the world are because we have some sort of screwed up belief system. And so in order to change what's happening in the world, we have to change our own beliefs. So at this time, a slight transition. My partner is going to pass around some of these for anyone who needs to activate their imagination, all right? This is the imagination activator. We've got some of them. You can pass them around, do them to your neighbors, because we're going to need a lot of imagination for this next part. And she's also got another little poem I wrote, which is called Transition Town Flow Tree, which tells kind of the tale of transitioning over to a more beautiful world, which we are co-creating here right now. So, in this screwed up tree, we've got the biggest problems facing America: drugs, resource exhaustion, separation, fear, lack of self-knowledge, excess education, toxic water, wealth, income, chemtrails, disparity, no initiation, greed, ignorance. Sounds pretty fun, right? So we got a lot of screwed up problems in our world. And so our group here sitting in the backyard observing these trees, we're starting to analyze the soil. We've got some processes going. We got selfishness, scarcity, separation, disconnection, fear, lack of recognition, everything. I think I'm reading that wrong. And ego. So those, and then we've also got the BS, the belief system that is the screwed up roots that is causing this tree to die. So how about we get some of that Monsanto soil and we just throw it away? Or we don't really throw it away, we got to get some fungi remediation to like transform it into something good. So then we're going to get some fresh organic soil with some worms and some fresh compost from Fractal Planet's giant compost bins. And we're going to start a new tree that is going to have beautiful flowers on it, and we're going to have a whole new belief system. So what are some of the values and the premises that you feel you want to have for this new tree that will be the foundation of a new world? Connectedness. Diversity, sacred union. These are the beliefs, or these are the roots. But those are good. A lot of them kind of are causes and effects. You know, it's like a feedback loop. If you keep the same BS going, then it creates this negative, vicious cycle. All right, so what are some of the other foundational beliefs that you want? Yes?
Self-cultivation.
Self-cultivation, beautiful.
Acceptance. Self-empowerment.
Acceptance, self-empowerment, beautiful. Connection. Awareness.
Mindfulness. Sustainability. Trust and abundance.
Sustainability and trust and abundance. These are awesome. Keep them coming. Get those imagination activators going. What kind of values do you want your children to grow up with? Love, freedom, respect. All right, I'm gonna beatbox for 30 seconds. Just keep shouting them out, okay? We're growing some soil. Keep them coming, keep them coming, keep them coming. They're going up there even if she's not ready to. All right, that was beautiful. These are the new roots of our new world, okay? So now that we've got a whole new BS system, or BS, we're gonna grow some new amazing flowers on this tree as we're sitting here in the backyard. So now we're just gonna fill up this section with what are the manifestations, what are the things you wanna see, feel, smell, hear when you walk out of the door and you don't see chemtrails, and you don't see nuclear crazy waste in your backyard, or you don't see racism, you don't see poverty, what do you want instead of this? What are the alternatives to separation, fear, lack of self-knowledge? Because I truly believe that one of the biggest problems facing us is the lack of imagination. You go up to some kid that's like 7 years old and he's been kind of brainwashed from mainstream society. He barely has any imagination left. It's like the saddest thing ever. They can't even fathom what it would be like to not live in poverty or not live in constant struggle to survive. So I feel like let's put lack of imagination on there as a root problem. But I really believe that through our imagination and through bringing the ideal into the real deal, we can actually manifest a new tree and a new beautiful world. So please shout out a few manifestations that you want to see, feel, hear, smell in this more beautiful world. That's the first thing I was thinking too. Community, fairies. What did you say?
Cryptocurrency?
Cryptocurrency, let's do it. This is a heart storm, all right? You gotta tune into your heart and let it storm out some of these
Abundance.
gifting economy, abundance. Yes.
Technology harmonizing with nature.
Perfect. Technology harmonizing with nature and psychedelic acceptance. I totally agree, and I think we're working towards that with the maps and just the culture at large. Wonder.
Synchronicity.
Attention span.
Synchronicity, attention span.
Celebration.
Celebration, yes! Joy.
Enthusiasm.
Compassion, enthusiasm. Right faster, Brittany. We got a lot. Come on, keep on coming. What do you want?
Equality.
What did you say? Gender equality. Yes. Telepathy. Let's do it. I knew you were going to say that.
Organic vegetables.
Organic vegetables.
Green smoothies.
Green smoothies, vegetables. Peace.
Not too many humans.
Not too many humans. Space.
Non-judgment.
Non-judgment. Beautiful.
Animal populations rebounding.
All right, animal population rebounding. These are amazing.
Community garden.
All right, let's get 4 more. Community gardens.
Clean water.
Clean water.
Fresh air.
Fresh air. Stewardship. This is so beautiful.
Sustainable food supply.
Sustainable food supply. All right, that's going to be the last one for now. Okay, so now we're going to do a more interactive activity. Remember, we're sitting here in the grass. We're observing the 2 trees, and we're starting to manifest the second tree, and we're starting to put our energy into it. Because for a long time, when I started realizing there was all these problems in the world, and I just got so depressed and so angry, and I was just focusing on all the problems, and I was trying to force all my friends to see, like, look at what's going on, you know? Like, I was just constantly angry at the world, trying to wake people up to all this horrible stuff that's happening. But I realized it was draining my energy, and it was keeping me in this negativity. And I realized, what if I just instead put all my energy into creating what I do want, instead of fighting against and hating what I don't want? And that's what I've been doing for the last couple of years, and it's been constantly empowering me and giving me more energy and more happiness and more new relationships and community. And I feel like seeing this image of the 2 trees, you can kind of like let the weight off a little bit. Like, all right, we do have a lot of shit on our plate, but we've got a lot of solutions already out there. Honestly, I believe we really do have the solutions and the technology and the mindset to create a completely harmonious, sustainable planet for every single man, woman, and child. And we're just not doing it because we're stuck in this BS. It's so ridiculous. Like, if an alien came here and surveyed the planet, they'd be like, all right, they got enough water, they got enough food, they got enough shelter, they're pretty smart, they got all this cool stuff going on. What the fuck are they doing? Like, what are we fucking doing? It's so ridiculous. Like we're standing next to each other in an elevator like, this guy doesn't exist because I'm too cool to talk to him, you know? It's fucking insane. It is so insane. And we have this possibility of shifting over. And so what I'm inviting you to do now is to find a partner that you don't know and sit down straight across from them. We're gonna break down the paradigm of the elevator to not talking. So try and find someone that you don't know. Just please ask them their name and where they're from for a moment. All right, so here's what we're gonna do. You're gonna please sit across from your partner and just look them in the eyes. Honestly, I used to be really scared of eye contact for a lot of my life. I wouldn't even look people in the eyes when I talked to them very much. So please just make eye contact with them. It might be a little awkward at first, that's totally fine. It's okay to giggle. It's okay if a super loud art car comes by and you can't even hear what I'm saying. All right, so just make eye contact with this person. And we're not gonna exchange any words, okay? We're just gonna gaze. And now as you're gazing at this person, just try and honor their unique journey. Out of all the beings throughout human history, lizard history, bird history, there has never been an expression of the universe just like this being. This is the only expression of this being that will ever exist in the whole multiverse. This is the only version of this being. And 10 minutes later, they're not even going to be the same being. You're the only being who is going to see them in this moment right this second. Isn't that cool? What if you did this in an elevator with someone? All right, so now as you're gazing with this being, just try and see them living their passion, living their dreams, manifesting exactly what they want to experience. And just try to feel how much joy that would bring them if they were truly living in alignment with their deepest passions. So as you're staring at them, just feel them flowering like this second tree, just flowering into their perfect niche in this gigantic world. This person has come here for a unique purpose. As Bashar says, if you didn't have a reason for being here, you wouldn't be here. The universe doesn't make mistakes. This person is here for a reason. They have a mission here, they have a purpose here, they have unique skills and gifts to offer. So just see them as their true self, as a unique expression of the universe. And now you can give this person a hug. Thank you, you all did very well. How was that for people? Was that fun? Was that kind of cool? Right on. So now that we've realized that there is all these alternatives and amazing things, now we got to get to action. You know, this is the time is now. In fact, it's never not now. But so we've got all these possible things to get into, and a lot of people are like, oh, I don't know my purpose, you know, I don't know what I'm supposed to do. It's like, just experiment, just try it out. You could become like a didgeridoo maker, or you could be like a life coach for kids that have been abandoned or something. Like there's infinite possibilities of what you're gonna do. It's like the universe isn't like just gonna like flap a name tag on you like, I am a facilitator of workshops. You know, you have to find your niche, you have to try different things. And don't be scared, because fear is just false expectations appearing real. Like 99% of the time, it's just fake. But unless you test it out, then the fear keeps you there, you know? So you gotta try things out. And so as some of you may know, I like to share something called flowetry, which is a rhyming language which ties inspirational things together. So after I get some of this sacred earth juice Isn't water amazing on a side note? Like, water, we're made of mostly water. Like somehow we're freaking in this human form, but we're mostly this stuff. So you gotta drink a lot of this stuff. So I'm gonna drink a bit more water and then share a little piece of flowetry. All right, so this is another little guided meditation here to catalyze imagination. So if you could please get kind of cozy. You can close your eyes if you want, or you can keep them open. Let's go on a tour of fascination. Open up the door and explore imagination. Let's go on a tour of fascination. Open up the door and explore imagination. Turn 3 eyeballs inward and explore your geodesic dome. Been a while since you visited, welcome home. Inside out, front to back like a palindrome. See, we shrunk like kids in a honeycomb, and now we're crawling across the chain of a chromosome. Colorful arrays and pigments of admiration. Dull doorways, open figments of fascination. You are in a state of wonder, like Alice is, finally free from paralysis of analysis. Paradigms melt along with mental calluses. And the deeper we travel, the more mysteries unravel. The deeper we travel, the more mysteries unravel. Like fruit by the foot or vegetables by the inch. Is your mind filled with soot like the head of the Grinch? Is your imagination real, or do you need a pinch? Rather, take it with a grain of salt. Who's to tell you what's real and what's not? I invite you to question all you've been taught. And the deeper we travel, the more mysteries unravel. The deeper we travel, the more mysteries unravel. Alliteration obliterates a dormant imagination. Confounding corollaries color cerebral canvas. Meditate in mental aviaries, pray beside the mantis. And we're cruising through the reality tunnel we inherit. Brought up with patterns, we repeat them like a parrot. What? Like a parrot? What? Like a parrot? Hamster wheel ferret chasing a stick and carrot. How do we escape? Thinking cap, you gotta wear it. So if you got an idea, share it. If you play music, blare it. Supernova dome, it's time to solar flare it. Sing it with me now. And the deeper we travel, the more mysteries unravel. The deeper we travel, the more mysteries unravel. Trying on new shoes lets you pry through taboos. Deciphering tribal tattoos is no longer a snafu. Old snot thoughts sneeze out like achoo. Allow the music to play you. Akashic records skip, skip, skip to my loo. Typhoons of haikus fly by you. Jungle Jim Jambalaya, Louisiana Bayou. Dong, dong, goes the gong. 'Tis the signal to our crew that we are adequately activated and this journey is through. So I hope you've enjoyed this tour of fascination. Now you know the door into imagination. I hope you've enjoyed this neural network navigation. May we forever explore imagination. Oh, yeah. Thank you, thank you. So yes, we have to bring the ideal into the real deal, which is exactly what Burning Man is doing. So many people have been intending in their imaginations, oh, we're gonna have this cool dome with this crazy stuff. But a lot of people have these great ideas and they never turn them into the real deal. And that's the real fun of being here on planet Earth in a human body, is that you can manifest things into existence. You don't just have to stay in the ideal realm, you know, you can bring things into being. And it's way more fun to bring things into being in a community, and it's much more powerful when everyone has a shared intention. Things like this can happen. So let's just give one more round of applause for all of you and all of Fractal and all of Burning Man and every lizard cricket manifestation on this whole planet. So I believe we have a little bit more time left. I'd be happy to answer some questions. And yes, you have a question.
Can you speak more to that? Bringing, manifesting things into existence rather than living in our ideals?
Yeah. So I think ideals are really important, but to actually manifest them, you have to really ground yourself in physical reality, I feel, is a part of it. To be radically honest, many of you know I used to be a lot thinner than I am now, and I've gained some weight, and I feel like it's brought me more grounded into the earth. I was very passionate about like exploring that realm. You know, I was hanging up there last year most of the time. But yeah, visualization, visualizing your dream. And Wayne Dyer has a lot of really amazing stuff about imagination and how to manifest things. I highly recommend Dr. Wayne Dyer, a book called Wishes Fulfilled. He talks about how you have to feel as if your dream has already come into being. So if you're trying to manifest an art car as the Taj Mahal, you got to meditate at home like, okay, this is exactly how it feels to be driving this down the playa, you know? And so as you're doing that, you're like tuning your body to what it feels like to be in that actual manifestation. And then by that, you're summoning the things necessary in order to actually manifest that. And, but another thing is Bashar, also, some of you may have heard of Bashar. He has a lot of good things to say on manifestation. You have to basically really want this thing to happen, but also be unattached if it doesn't actually happen. Because if you're holding so hard onto it, and you're saying, this is exactly how I want this dome to look, and then somebody walks in who could potentially help you, but they're like, I want to put a fountain in the middle, and you're like, but the fountain wasn't in my dream. Like, you have to be open to other people helping you and plugging in and just kind of going with the flow to manifest things. Yeah, it takes a different form maybe in your dream. Maybe it's even better than you imagined in the first place. Any other questions? Yes.
In your travels and your experience, talking about the importance or the joy of doing this community, are there any like cities or geographical locations that you come across where people seem to be really focused? Can you name some places?
Sure. On the bike trip specifically, well, my hometown of Peaceburg, where Annie is from, and Annie and Brittany are from, they're my fellow Peaceburger comrades. There's a lot of really cool stuff happening on the East Coast that is not getting as much hype as the West Coast. You kind of have to find the different pockets. The place where Andrew and I are from, or went to school, Happy Valley, Penn State, there's actually a lot of really cool farming projects and awesome initiatives there. Fairfield, Iowa is hidden amidst a lot of cornfields, but it's where there's this Maharishi Meditation Center that's a dome about 30 times bigger than this, where 2,000 people meditate twice a day. It's like pretty amazing. Oregon, Portland has a lot of cool places. There's a lot of eco-villages out in the Oregon coast region. San Francisco, as many of you know, has a lot of cool garden projects. Art culture. Asheville, North Carolina. What area are you from? Many places. So the other, when my girlfriend and I were traveling, we told someone we were a nomad. He's like, hey, look at the word nomad. You sure you're not a yes happy? I was like, yeah, I'm a yes happy. But yeah, honestly, there's so many places all around the globe, and just use the internet to find them, you know, and because there's just so many people out there. Like in Peaceburg, I've been a community organizer there for the last 3 years, and we have all events and stuff. literally almost every single day I meet someone who is like, I thought I was crazy. Like I literally thought I was going insane. I thought no one was like me. And then they meet me and they meet a bunch of other people and they're like, this is it. Like I'm not crazy. And so just helping to be a beacon of light to bring in those people who are kind of lonely and think they're crazy is a really important goal as well. Yes.
What do you think are some of the most effective ways that we can co-create, part of co-creating or driving this sustainable world?
Well, I think everyone has different best practices. Honestly, some people are serving their highest goal by just smiling at people on the sidewalk or giving free hugs to people. Some people are so you could give a free hug to a person who hasn't been hugged in a year, and that could totally change the trajectory of their life, you know? So I feel like the real thing is to just really tune in with yourself. And at the last workshop I did, which was at a festival in Rootwire, really amazing festival, one of the best I've ever been to. Rootwire is a music and arts festival in Logan, Ohio. I highly recommend it if you're on the East Coast. I just gave like some of my favorite things that kind of catalyze creativity in me, and we don't have to write them down, but if you have a pencil and want to write these down, these are some real good secrets. The first one is the name of the camp that I'm staying with, essentially. We're called Aroha Green Smoothie. So I started drinking green smoothies a while back, and they just totally changed my life. You know, it gives you so much more energy than coffee. It doesn't like give you a stomach ache. So that's one tip, drink green smoothies. 2 is daily exercise, yoga, whatever you want to call it. Literally every morning when I wake up, I just instantly go into my practice. Sometimes I'll take an icy cold shower, which is another one of the tips. Icy cold showers is like saging yourself for like 5 hours, but it only takes 1 minute. You're just cleansing your whole system by taking a cold shower. It's really an underrated spiritual technology. But the other thing I was saying is daily exercise and meditation, yoga, whatever your practice is, just do it at least 6 days a week, in my opinion, because literally our planet is soaring through the galaxy at thousands of miles an hour when our galaxy is soaring through the universe at more millions of miles an hour. So every day when you wake up, you're in a whole different part of the universe. Like yesterday we were like way over there, but now we're right here. And so for me, like when I do my practice every morning, it's like I'm aligning with this new energy, and like after I do all this energy, I just completely lay in Shavasana for like 15 minutes. Most yoga classes say Shavasana is the most important pose, but then they leave you there for like 2 minutes. It's ridiculous. If you do Shavasana for 15 minutes after you run, exercise, yoga, I guarantee you will have an insane transcendent experience. I have one pretty much every day, just laying in Shavasana. It's unbelievable. So that's another tip. Another one is tantric or sacred sexuality, which is a very powerful and deep practice that takes a lot of work. Spiritual partnerships is right in line with that. Like, I highly recommend Ram Dass talking about spiritual partnerships, singing in a language that is not English. Because something like toning, something like where you're literally like tuning into your soul, you're not filtering it through your mind. So singing in a song in some sort of like just tune in and find a language, just like Scooby-Doo, you know, do whatever voice comes through. I feel like so many of us are disconnected from our own vocal expression, and English is kind of a language that came from separation consciousness. That's why a lot of people say other languages are more beautiful. It's because those languages were more connected to the earth when they came into existence. They like sprouted out of the earth, whereas English sprouted out of like a concrete sewage plant or something. I mean, we can repurpose it and kind of remix it, but I highly recommend singing in a different kind of language. In fact, I'll sing a little song in a different language for a moment. All right, so I'm just gonna sing a little riff, and you can start singing the same melody, or you can just hop on top and add in whatever you want, okay? Hele hula le hule ha le le hule ha hele hula le hule ha le hele hule ha hele hula le hule ha le hule ha hele hula le hule ha le hule ha hele hula le hule ya, 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 hele hule ya, hele hula le hule ya, hele hule ya, hele Aho mitakoyasin. Yes. All right. I like questions. I honestly think questions are way more important than answers. Like, so many of us are scared to ask questions. One of the most powerful exercises I ever did that actually, I think it made me realize I wanted to go to Burning Man. In college, an awesome professor, shout out to Chris Ewell, he's an epic paradigm shifting professor. He just says, write 100 questions right now, 100 questions about anything in your life, just write them down. And as you're writing them down, you reveal like all this crazy stuff. It's wild. So that's kind of how I picked the name philosophical, because I realized that philosophy is basically the art of asking questions and just continually questioning things. So do we have any more questions? Yes.
Sometimes I feel helpless from all the crisis that's happening in the world. And I know that radiating my heart is affecting the planet, and there's science that proves that. And I know very little about it. Can you just speak upon that, how just radiating my heart is actually affecting the planet and helping with the evolution?
Totally. Yes. So the question is so she said she could sometimes feel helpless amidst the crisis, and she felt like one of the main things she could do was just radiate love and heart energy out into the world. And there's an institute called Heart Math, which has been studying for 30 years how to prove that the heart is such a powerful organism. You know, it's not just this thing that pumps blood. If you look into any sacred or any culture in history, they're always going to have something really important about the heart, because your heart is like your center of your chakra system, for one. And the Institute of Heart Math shows that the energetic field, the electromagnetic field of your heart literally goes much further out than the electromagnetic field of your brain. And so literally when you're walking, you have this tube torus around you of energy that's like a feedback loop. You know, it's going like this, down and up, and it's going right through your heart as a center. And so when you're in like a good heart space, you're literally radiating this field out to everyone that you come in contact with. Even if they don't feel it, they feel it. Even if they don't know they feel it, they feel it. Like, my girlfriend and I were sitting at Whole Foods one time after we had just done yoga, and we were just sitting there eating, and this guy walks past, and he was like, "What did you guys just do?" Like, we were just like, "We just came from yoga class." And he was like, "I just felt like this wave of love or something." And we were like, "We didn't do anything, we're just eating food." But like, we were so radiating this energy field that people could just feel it. And so that's one of the most powerful things you can do, is just be aligned and grounded in the earth, but also up into the cosmos. And I think being grounded into the earth is almost like an underrated thing in the kind of new age world, but that's how you really become a strong spiritual person, is by rooting into the earth. I highly recommend doing yoga in grass or meditation on the earth, not necessarily always in a studio, because when you do yoga on the earth, you're drawing up energy from the magnetic field of the earth, and it just feels so good. Like in China, everyone does Tai Chi in the morning in the grass, and like, no wonder Chinese people are so awesome. Peace and love, everyone. Thank you so much. This has been the Tale of the True Trees. Please give it up for Brittany Lee. If you want to find me on Facebook, it's facebook.com/philsideas. And also on YouTube, my channel is called Cosmic Revolution KS. So thank you very much. Thank you to Vishnu Das, who's been facilitating all of this awesome workshops and everything. So, peace.